In today's assignment for the summer of 2022, Lesson 5, which is on page 1254, 12 of 54, for the student summer workbook, I had the students resave this 54-page document, and we're altering it as we go. So they made a copy of it and put their first initial and last name on it so that they could add their own notes and assignments to it. So in today's assignment, we reviewed Kendrick Lamar's song. We also reviewed the student's example, and then we wrote our own. Every place where you see the green text on here, there were a series of lines that looked like this, and some of them were pretty lengthy. So I had the students write their own based on an information sheet that I gave them at the beginning of the summer. And they used that information and included words into their DNA verse template. Then what I had them do was to take a screen capture by clicking here to move the cursor away from the center over here. Then they scrolled up and did a screen capture. And on their computers, it's a little different. They do Control Shift, and then they tap the button at the top of the screen for a screen capture. On a regular laptop, Windows laptop, this is done by doing Shift Windows S. Gives you this little crosshairs, and I asked them to select just above the blue line all the way down to the bottom of their text. Then they went to their student artifacts slideshow. Again, they have their own name here, summer of 2022, and this is the artifacts slideshow, which goes on their website. They scroll down to the they scroll down to the 6th slide and titled this DNA. Clicking here and then holding the control key down and tapping the letter V on their keyboard will place their rhyme or their verse into this slide. Some of my students were not able to complete this assignment, so I asked them to put an inserted text box and overlap this placed image with the box that says work in progress. And also click the image, see my progress. The image being this text over here. And of course, since this is not, you can't see both of these, I suggested they fill it with a color. I'm going to use purple. And then select the text and make it white so that it stands out. And also center stack the text by aligning the text like this. Now that I've got the image in here, I can go back to the workbook where I've got my work being done. I can click one time here in front of the title, go to the Insert menu, and select Bookmark. It adds a little ribbon here that shows that this page is bookmarked. I can click here on Copy Link, and then go back to my slideshow and attach the link to this image by clicking the Insert Link and pasting. I'm holding the Control key down and tapping the letter V. You can also right mouse click it with the mouse, or right mouse click it on your trackpad and then apply. So here's the nice thing about this. Each student has their own website. and on their website, there's an artifacts menu, artifacts page, excuse me, and there's an artifacts slideshow. It's the same as this one here. Since I updated this here, the nice thing about having these links and so forth in here is that it automatically is going to update this slideshow. So here's what I just pasted in here. This way parents can see their students' work being updated. I'll give you another example. So parents and other teachers can check in on their students' work for our class. These buttons go to these different artifacts. So this one's artifact number 1, Bugs figurine. I just used it as an example because I have a figurine that looks like this. I'm going to click on the index slide, add a colon, and type in bugs. The second one is a journal, and I've placed a YouTube video in here, which you can only see when you're in slideshow mode, in presentation mode. I'm not going to do that right now, but I'll show you how that works in a minute. So that's a journal. I want this link number 2 artifact. I'm just going to call it journal. For my third artifact, we worked on argumentative statements, and I've already got this slide and information in another screencast so that you can view that. I'm going to go back to my index. This is tile number 5. I'm going to go to tile number 3 here because this one is actually linked to that page. And I'm going to change this to since the text is larger than the box, I'm going to select it all by holding the control key down and tapping the letter A. And then I'm just going to reduce the text until it fits in the box. Doesn't matter that it's really small. When we preview it, you'll be able to read it. And then the one for today is called DNA. I know that's the next slide. So I'm going to triple click on this button and call that one DNA. Here's the beauty of how this system works with Google Docs and Google Slides and Google Sites. Notice how the numbers haven't changed yet. Even though I made the changes here to this slide, I have to refresh the page, and when I refresh the page, that information will appear. So now all of these have been changed automatically on the website, and these buttons also go to those pages. And here's where the really fun thing comes in. For instance, on the argumentative statements, I attached the link to this Google Doc to that image. It's going to think for a minute, and then it's going to forward to that assignment. These assignments were done out of order. I accidentally did assignment 6 before we finished assignment 5. So they're out of order on here, but they're not out of order on here. In other words, since these buttons go to those slides, this one's actually 5, and this one's lesson 6, but they're kind of interchangeable. One other thing that I had students do was I had them label these buttons, which enables them to be out of order. And also, we always put instructions on here, such as click the cartoon to see my argumentative statements Google Doc. We've done the same thing for the follow-up assignment, for the DNA assignment. So to see the work in progress for specific students, you can click on this image and it'll take you to mine, because mine is the one that this link for this example website is on. But all of the other students' websites can also be linked and viewed by going to captivearting.com, the website that I'm using for this class. You can go to Student Sites, roll over this button, and click on Summer 22, and view every student's website by clicking on it, going to their artifacts page. If I click this button, it'll go full screen, and then I can either forward the buttons here or actually click on the DNA button. You can see that she's not finished here. However, she did put click image to see progress down below. So I can click on here and it will take me to her Google Doc. I can see that I need to teach students tomorrow how to give access to everyone at San Diego Unified School District so that they won't have to request access. See if I have another student in here who did it any other way. Just going to close some of these tabs, go back here and see if anyone else did it differently. The student missed a few things here, but that's okay. I think we fixed this today and she just didn't update the link yet. Artifacts. Full screen. Forward button. DNA. Click to go to my DNA verse. So here's a student whose link and file have been shared. This way, again, students, parents, other teachers, administrators, etc., can see this student's work in their workbook. He just needs to change this to his name and make a couple of corrections in here, like taking out these lines here, which I can actually do since he gave me permission, so that it actually looks like a rhyme now. And I will let him complete the rest of that tomorrow. So that's how our technology aspect of our classes are going this summer. And this is something that I do during the regular school year as well. And now I can add this feature to it where we can do workbooks and link them via bookmarks to reports and so forth in students' work.